is tabletop time.
Guys, it's Cody with World of Mini Warcrafts, and I'm sitting down with my buddy Nick, and we're going to be answering or talking about Tau things. Nick is a Tau player. If you've watched the other videos, you know Nick has been playing Tau for a long time.
There are some special rules in the Tau Codex that are very powerful currently in the set. Yes.
Yes. I got a question. I got my phone here on Facebook, so you know, we posted some previous Q&A type things, and we always ask for topics. And my buddy Jonathan left a comment on one of the videos. He said, "So if playing with the Tau, what's their special qualities or attributes that makes someone want to use them in playing?" So, good question. Now, I will say that when I was first introduced to Warhammer 40k, these guys were showing me the stuff online on the Games Workshop website, and I was checking out the different armies. The first army that caught my eye was the Tau. Now, like Nick, that's generally because I love anime, and the mechs and the things like that were very appealing.
Yeah, not even touching the rules. That's actually why I started picking up the Tau army when I started playing. I was looking at the various things they had, and the Tau had that ultra sci-fi, futuristic, clean, mechanized, you really felt like they were an army from the 41st millennium. All the hover tanks and the mech suits and all the things that you would see on the anime, and I was like, yeah, that's the army I want to play, which is kind of a shame that at the time they were really not a very strong army.
And now, as I've played the Tau with my Necrons and with my Chaos and with my Dark Angels, and I haven't played it with my Imperial Knights yet.
I have not yet destroyed one of your Imperial Knights on the battlefield.
Okay,
now.
that won't happen.
You don't think that would happen?
I don't think that's gonna happen.
Oh, we'll see.
We gotta play Purge the Alien.
We do have to play some Purge the Alien.
Okay.
I'm going to warn you, I'm not worried.
Okay, so 1,000. We'll just play a 1,200 point battle.
1,200 point battle.
Because I will have 3, which puts me at like 1,100 and something, 35 or something like that. So I'll be a little bit short, but you take 1,200 points, and I'll bring 3 Imperial Knights, and I'm cool with that.
All right, we'll give it a shot.
All right, so things that Tau have that no one else has. Let's run down the list.
Do you want to do the things that Tau have that no one else has rules-wise, or just kind of the strengths of the army? How do you want to break it down?
Let's do a little bit of both. I will point out things that I've noticed just playing against you, and you can elaborate on them. And then on top of that, you can anything else I miss or that you think.
Sure, okay.
So Overwatch was this thing that I heard people talking about, being like, oh no, it's it makes it difficult for, as you said, like close combat
armies. Yeah.
Close combat armies, and then people that are really good at shooting,
Now I'll give you this. In most cases, Overwatch is not make or break for a close combat army. But when it comes to the Tau, they have 2 rules that let them use that to very devastating effect. The first of the 2 rules is the supporting fire special rule that almost all Tau have.
Yeah.
That means that not only can the unit being charged shoot, but every unit within 6 inches of that unit can also shoot, which means you've got an amazing amount of firepower that you're throwing at the charging unit.
Now, I have to ask you this. If I have a unit here charging one of your units here, and you overwatch, and then your unit over here overwatches, and your unit over here overwatches, but then I have another unit over here that charges, does that already count as their overwatch?
Yes, they've already fired overwatch. They can still only fire it once during the course of their phase.
Okay, that makes me feel a little bit better then. But
it does help.
But nonetheless, now also, besides having multiple... See, now, because I played against Nick's Tau, and I just thought that was a thing. So we were playing like another game, and I was like, oh, I'm within 6 inches of my guys, and he was like,
nope, that's just Tau.
That's just Tau.
The other one that they have is the Marker Light. Marker Lights only last for the phase that they're used in, but they are one of the very few buffs in the game that will allow you to buff snapshot. Overwatch. So it does work on Overwatch.
So in Overwatch, when someone is charging you, you get to try to shoot on them, before they charge in, whether they make their charge or not. And you only hit on 6s. But
if I have a unit of Pathfinders with 10 marker lights and they roll in and hit a couple of 6s, then I get 2 marker light hits on that unit. I can put those 2 marker light units, 2 marker lights on the Fire Warrior team right next to it, and then I'm shooting 24 and hitting on 4s.
So instead of 6s, now he only needs 4s, which percentage-wise now means he's hitting a lot more.
And with the most powerful infantry weapon in the game, at the very least, I think it is at Strength 5 the most powerful infantry, like a troop weapon in the game.
It's the
standard pulse rifle.
Pulse rifle, okay.
Both fire at 5. In fact, 5 is the pretty much standard for the Tau army. Almost everything is Strength 5 across the board, with the exception of their heaviers and the Kroot rifles, which are a little bit weaker.
Okay, and the other thing you forgot to mention in the Overwatch as well is also your vehicles can fire Overwatch, which other people's vehicles cannot do.
That's not entirely accurate.
Okay.
There are special pieces of war gear that our vehicles can pick up that allow us to do it.
So you have to.
So I do have to pay extra points for it. Yes.
Okay. But
it is also very nice though, especially considering a lot of them have some high assault weapons, assault 4 weapons. Some of them twin linked, which allows me to reroll misses, which is dangerous in an Overwatch situation.
See, no, that's the thing. Like just the other day, I was playing Daka Joe against his orcs, and I was playing with some chaos, and I had my Land Raider on the field, and Land Raider's getting in position to tear some stuff up, and he has, I think, some Tank Busters charge. He charged my Land Raider. I cannot Overwatch with a tank. It's a vehicle. It does not Overwatch. So he charges in. He's doing Tank Buster bombs and blows up my Land Raider in an assault. And, that's one of those things. It's like, man, I wish that was an option at the very least for every army in some sort of war gear to pick up. But
to tell you the truth, I'm not sure which other armies can do it, but I would be. Well, it might actually only be the Tau. I'm trying to think of who else might have that.
It might be Eldar too.
Eldar might. I'd have to go through some other codices to see. It isn't something that I've used recently because of the campaign rules that we've had in our given campaign.
We are actually playing a campaign, and I'm not really filming it. We're more just playing for fun because a lot of the time I found that trying to film and do battle reports takes away the focus and the fun, and then it's also a lot of editing. I do want to do battle reports, but I'm trying to save money to buy a decent video camera, other than just using the laptop, which we are filming on now. But we're doing a campaign, and it's my Dark Angels that are low in number landed on this planet in search of Imperial Knights, old suits of armor that they're going to rebuild or hire if the knight is still inside of it, kind of thing. But Tau are already there. They're doing their, what is it called? The thing they do.
They're it's part of their third sphere expansion. They're turning it into a Sept world.
The Sept world. Okay. So we get there and Tau are there, and we don't necessarily care about them. We're just there to get the suits. But they see us, and
we haven't had a very long and proud history with the Marines. We've worked together from time to time, but usually when Space Marines show up on our planets, we're not very happy about it.
And, the other thing, too, is, part of one of the missions, like, he finds plans to what I'm doing there, which is searching for weapons, and Tau's like, ooh, weapons? Like, we could take that and improve on that, make it even better, and build a bigger
next generation of Riptide will be even bigger and have better guns.
Yeah, the destroyer weapon and all that. Oh, jeez. Can you imagine? Alright, so you got Overwatch. Vehicles with the upgrade can fire. Most other people can't do that. They get the other units that are around them within 6 inches to fire on you as well. So now you got more shots coming in. And the marker lights making it easier for them to hit you, which, again, no one else can do as far as I know. And
the inclusion of a Strength 5 range 30 infantry weapon, also very impressive.
Rapid fire or something?
It is rapid fire. Rapid fire is at 15 inches, but if I need to shoot 30 inches with my infantry weapon, I can fire 30 inches with an infantry weapon and hit Strength 5.
Now, here's the messed up thing about that. If you're going to charge, the max you could be away is maybe 12 inches. There might be some other units that can like get special.
Oh yeah,
ability.
Those things are going to be inside the rapid fire.
Both things are within rapid fire, and then you have what's usually a unit of 10 or 11 or something.
12.
Like that. 12.
Most Tau Fire Warrior teams are in groups of 12.
So then you got 24 shots there.
Yeah.
And then 24 shots in this unit next to it. 24 shots over here.
Well, typically you're going to have 10 shots from this unit over here because it's going to be the Pathfinder unit that shoots first with marker lights on the target.
Yeah. Oh, but still, 24 and 24, so now you have 48 shots hitting on a 4+. It depends on how many marker lights.
Depends on how many marker lights hit. You have to remember that the marker light is good for this unit, is not good for that unit.
Right, but if you landed 4 marker lights, you can
very
use
hard
2
to do
for
on a
this.
6-up, but yes.
You can land 2 for this and 2 for this. So I mean that's a 4-up for 48 shots going into my unit of 10 Marines, and it's a strength 5 against toughness 4 for a Space Marine, which is a pretty solid.
It's like
troop. Space Marine is a solid troop in power armor, but it's only toughness 4, which is good. But strength 5 on a troop weapon is nasty.
Yes, it means that most armies I'm going to hit 2-up on. Tougher armies like the Space Marines, I'm going to 3-up a wound. And even on heavier units within those armies, I'm probably going to have even odds on a wound.
And then, yeah, it's okay. So that's Overwatch. So those are things that Tau can do that other armies cannot necessarily do in Overwatch, which is kind of a huge part of the game. It's all part of the assault phase. It's a big.
Well, it's always going to be a huge part of fighting against Tau because they're going to use it ruthlessly to their advantage. In other armies, it's usually not quite as big a deal. Like I said, if you charge a group of Space Marines, they'll get their Overwatch. They'll fire 20 shots at best if it's a full unit. They'll probably hit 3 or 4 of those. It might not even wound. If it does, it's probably not going to. It's probably going to save. So it's not an army killer in the Space Marine army, but in the Tau army, it is a very effective unit.
It's more numbers, but I have a better ability to drop him, and that's where the Overwatch really comes in handy.
Yeah.
Whereas, with the Tau, it's like it doesn't matter who you are, you're gonna die.
That's again not necessarily true. You've gotten a few Marines into close combat with me once or twice.
I got one
Space Marine
into close combat with you.
It was a unit of 5.
It was.
I think you killed one of your own guys with a grenade or something.
I did. I killed.
So it wasn't even all the Tau shooting.
It's true, but I had like a tank backed up to like getting ready to release these Marines, and you're like, let's blow it up instead.
I did, yeah.
You blew up the tank.
I blew up the tank with infantry weapons, which is another reason that Strength 5 comes in handy, because there are a lot of vehicles that are looking at Armor 11, and a 6 will glance in Armor 11 on a Tau weapon. So if you've got nothing else to shoot at, go ahead and take the shot.
Now that brings me to the next thing. One of the other big things you guys have is the railgun.
That's true. It's a 72-inch Strength 10 AP1 tank-killing weapon. It is very, very beastly. It is one of the strongest weapons in the game. And on top of that, they have Melta weapons that have slightly better range, I think, than the Marines' Melta weapon. They have plasma. They have missiles. A lot of high-strength options in the Tau army. They can usually chew through even Land Raider armor pretty quickly.
Here's one thing that I think is kind of underestimated a lot of the time in the Tau army, but I've found it to be probably the biggest nuisance, even aside from your special rules, and that is the drones.
Drones can be deadly, especially if used properly. If you're using a commander who's kitted out with a drone controller, those drones now hit on a 2-up. If the commander is equipped right, they're hitting on a 2-up and they're ignoring cover. Those weapons also pin, so you put your commander in a unit of 10 drones. The drones are using Assault 2 twin-linked weapons with Strength 5. That's going to be 20 shots off of those drones hitting on a 2-up, causing a pinning check, ignoring all cover. So Yeah, drones can be very, very disgusting.
Now, not even their shooting, but I've noticed that, like, okay, my plan would be like, I'm gonna drop his general or his crisis team first. So I'm putting heavy loads of fire into his unit of his crisis suits, and then I managed to make a few hits, and he's like, oh, the drones will.
Like, I look out, sir, for the drones. Yeah,
look out, sir, for the drones, and then but he's got like 10 of them there. I mean, how point wise, how much do the drones cost you?
It depends on the drone, and it depends on the unit they're in. Actually, it's kind of weird that way. Usually more than 10. So they're not cheap. It's like killing a soldier.
Okay, all right. That makes me feel better. Yeah. They're not grots. They're not.
They're not 3-point throwaways. They're definitely a very point intensive.
Yeah.
In the right combinations and used the right way, they can be brutal.
I've seen, yes. Okay, the other thing, as you were just saying, is your ability, I don't know if it's one or multiple different ways that you ignore cover.
They do have several weapons to do it. The Smart Link missile system will do it. The Marker Light can be used to ignore cover. The commander has a special piece of war gear that allows a unit that he's with to ignore cover. So, yes, against, say, an Orc army, that's a devastating blow, because they do rely on that for getting forward. Especially against Tyranids, it's very useful, because they rely on the cover for getting forward. When it comes to the armor-killing potential of the Tau, they also have, this is again an infantry weapon, the EMP grenade is one of the most disgusting weapons that you're going to find. A unit of 12 charges a vehicle of some sort. They've all got the EMP grenade. If you take the option, it is an upgrade. I don't usually, but if I know I'm playing in a tournament that's going to be heavy vehicles, I'm going to take it. The EMP grenade glances on a 2 through a 5 and pens on a 6. They get 12 of them.
So you're bound to get a couple pens.
Well, you're probably going to get a couple of pens, and you're taking off hull points across the board. So if you're looking at a vehicle that's got 4 hull points and 12 Tau Fire Warriors charge it with EMP grenades, now, that vehicle's not going to be there.
Are the EMP grenades still the small blast template?
No, it's targeted on the vehicle.
So it doesn't even blast back on you in anything.
No, it's
that's ridiculous. See, like for us, or even for the orcs or whatever, when you use those tank buster bombs or any frag grenades, crack grenades, it's always a small blast template, so you still have the possibility of it going back on you.
As a matter of fact, the EMP grenades don't have effect on living matter, so I can't use them against troops. I can't use them against. It's only effective against
still.
Armor. But still, nasty. Very nasty ability if I throw it in there. Like I said, fusion cannons are also a very popular part of the Tau army. That's a melta weapon. It gets its 2d6 on strength at I think 9 inches. I want to say, which is going to allow it to eat through armor as well. So you kind of come to this position where the Tau Overwatch ability, the supporting fire, means that your horde armies are not going to have a very good time against it.
Yep.
You've got your high-end weaponry in the Tau army, which means that your vehicle armies are not going to have a very good time against it. That doesn't leave a whole heck of a lot else. They do have a few weaknesses, though.
Do enlighten me.
Tau are incredibly vulnerable to psychic power. They have, generally speaking, low leadership unless they've got an ethereal on the field. And even then, the ethereal is kind of a risky play because it's worth an extra victory point for killing it.
Right. Okay. Okay.
So it is dangerous to put it out there, but that generally speaking, their leadership is low. They do break. Generally speaking, their numbers are pretty low, so you can usually get a leadership check on them with only 3 or 4 wounds.
Yeah.
They are miserably bad at close combat.
But that's the hard part, is you have to
get
into close combat.
Once you've gotten there, though, once you're in with a unit and I can't shoot at it the next turn, odds are you're going to just eat through that unit and move right on to the next one. It does happen.
It does.
I've seen it happen. It's happened to me. Once the line starts to break, it crumbles fast.
Most deadly model in my opinion, your Pathfinders lay down the marker lights, that's cool, and you have really good troop weapons and stuff, but that Piranha.
The Piranha is very underrated when you actually look at them. Equipped properly, they are a they're devastating units. You can get 5 of them in a squad. If I was going to totally kit them out, you can put fusion cannons on them, which means they're great tank hunters. They're fast skimmers, so they're going to move like fast skimmers. They're going to get across the battlefield and fire.
12 inches.
Jink, not only Jink, but they also can pick up the Tau War gear for the, I think it's called the Disruption Field, which gives them a +1 on their cover, which works for Jink because that is a cover save. So they're even one harder to hit.
Yeah, 4-up save after getting hit kind of thing.
And their armor isn't very good. I will admit that. And they only have 2 hull points a model. But you're either running them with the fusion cannon, in which case you've got 2 drone shots off the thing. And the drone shots are assault 2 already. So that means they're already doing 5 hits with the fusion cannon. Or you can equip them with the burst cannon, which means you're doing 8 shots per. Which means that unit of 5 Piranha equipped as a troop killer is throwing out 40 shots. And with the right supporting fire, 40 shots running across the field at high speeds is not a fun thing to see.
Yeah. Any other notes you'd like to add?
They're fun to paint.
They're cool. I like his army a lot.
There's a lot of fun stuff in the Tau army, and if you haven't given them a try, I do highly recommend it. They're a lot of fun to play.
He's the only person in the house so far with a fully painted army. He's got, and I'm jealous. I hope to eventually get all my armies painted because it's fun playing against Nick just because his entire army is painted. Whatever he pulls out,
it's always fun to see an opponent with a fielded painted force. I always love doing that too.
But
always looking for more information on how other people play the Tau.
Yeah, I mean, this guy, he's an amazing player, and he's been doing this for a while, but every week he's like, I learned something new, and I'm like, oh, crap. Why are you always learning things?
I love seeing what other people do with them. It's because there are so many things that you can do with them.
Good example of that, Kroot. When I first met Nick, he was like, yeah, Kroot I don't really like Kroot. And now he's like, I need more Kroot. I found out a way to make them work.
I found a way to make them work for the army. I need more Kroot.
And so there you go. So, but that's the thing we love about this game. So thanks for watching, and leave your comments, leave your questions, leave your topics. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and go ahead and go pick up some Tau.